podcast, So Sweet Violet. My name's Jooles, and this is my podcast about knitting and sewing. I'm looking around thinking what else I do, and basically creating. I'm coming to you today from a very, very drizzly, dull, damp West Sussex in the UK, and I'm not moaning at all because I love it. Mabel has actually refused to go out for a walk this morning. She's snoozing away over here on the sofa. So I thought, I'll make the opportunity and podcast first, and then hopefully it'll stop raining and we can have a nice walk this afternoon, which is unusual. I think it's the first time, maybe like the second time ever, we've not had an early morning walk. So it feels a bit strange, really, to be podcasting. Today is Wednesday. Is it the 19th? Yes. Today is Wednesday, the 19th of July. I actually can't believe we're that far in July. It's quite incredible, really. And gosh, I'm rusty. I don't know how to start my podcast. Basically, since I was here last, which was possibly 5 weeks ago, I certainly didn't intend it to be that long, but lots of weird things have happened. The first one being about a week after my last podcast, Google decided to disable my email account, to delete my blog, and to terminate my YouTube account. Well, I was absolutely devastated, actually. I think that maybe makes me sound a bit shallow, but I put a lot of my heart and soul into all those, especially my blog and my YouTube, but my blog really, because I've been blogging for, well, it's hard to remember, but probably 7 years. And I put a lot of work into that and a lot of myself. It was a very me blog, and anyone who does a blog, it's just so personal. And also my YouTube account. And if you've watched me before, you'll know that I am quite honest on my podcast. I try not to dwell on things, but I talk about things truthfully, how I feel and things that happen to me. And I was just so sad that that was just taken away in just an instant by either a computer that said no or somebody had decided just to press a button. The reason I was told was because I'd violated their terms and conditions, or their policies, I think. And that was it. It was just an automated reply when I'd filled out all these different online forms and feedback things. And yeah, I was just really upset. I tried phoning because Google actually own YouTube. So I tried phoning Google in the UK, but it was the weekend, so the offices were closed. So I thought I'd try Google in the US. I tried them, but just to talk to somebody would have been an hour and a half waiting on the phone, which would have cost an absolute fortune. So I left it for a little while thinking maybe they'll just come back. Had a really horrible night. I was just felt hurt, really. A couple of days went by. I think that was a Friday, and a couple of days went by, and I decided, I think it was Sunday night, to go on the Instagram account of both Google and YouTube and publicly say, why have you deleted my accounts? Can you tell me why? Basically, I just talk about knitting and etc., etc., and left it at that. And you lovely lot were so lovely, and you really rallied for me, linking YouTube and Google in loads and loads of comments. They must have been inundated. And I know lots of you also emailed Google Direct and filled in feedback forms for me. And then, lo and behold, I think it was Monday morning. Was it Sunday? Maybe it was Sunday morning. everything was restored. And I'd had loads of messages from you saying, you're back online, I can review. Oh my goodness, I was so relieved. But even then, I did not get an apology or even something just telling me actually what happened or anything. Basically, I just got a standard email just saying, after reviewing your accounts, you appear not to have violated any policies. So that was that. Some nice things have happened too. I sound a bit grumpy, don't I? But anyway, you are here to see what I've been knitting on, see what I've finished. So let's get started on that. So finished things. As you can see, I am wearing, I have to be quite careful because my back's quite sore. I am wearing my breathing space sweater, which I absolutely love. The colour's a bit strange. I think maybe it's the weather or my lighting. I have a new chair for my back. It's a bit ugly and it's black. So I've covered it with my, I'll show you in a minute. I've covered it with my shawl, but it's on wheels, so I can wheel myself around. So I'm hoping that will help my back. So I'm just going to show you my breathing space. I love it. It's so pretty. I love the asymmetrical hem here. It's actually, I think I did a bit of a boo-boo. It's a little bigger than perhaps I had planned it to be. Hang on a second. I'm going to have to go around the back to move my chair. Easy does it. It's a bit bigger than I'd actually planned it to be. What I did, I've learned a lesson from this. What I did is I did swatch, but I didn't wash it and block it. I didn't even realise, I don't know if I didn't think about it or I'm just a bit silly. But no, I didn't wash it. So I knit this and it fit perfectly when it came off the needles. And when I washed it and blocked it, it grew massively. I was thinking, oh my goodness, this is giant. But it didn't actually grow too bad, as you can see. It just felt like it in my head. Sleeves are a little long, but I don't really mind that, and I can always turn them back if it kind of stretches during the day. But it's so soft. And I knit this out of the Wool Barn Silky Singles in crema and light mauve, I believe. But the notes, I must update my Ravelry page on it actually, because the notes will be on my Ravelry page. I love it, and I love the shaping under the bust. It's so pretty. I did post a photo on Instagram of me wearing this in the garden, and all I could see was my massive boobage. So, and I did write a comment on the post, and all of you were like, just so funny, you made me laugh so much. But anyway, forget the big boobage. I love it. It's really pretty. It's super lovely to wear. And because it is a bit longer, because it blocked out longer, I can actually wear it, I think, with leggings if I had a long vest underneath. And it looks great with skinny jeans as well. But it's so loose, and my husband's just coming in from the doctor, so I might have to pause. I'm back. Pete just wanted a bit of a chat. So anyway, yes, I was talking about my breathing space, and I really, really love it. And it's only my second garment I've ever made, but already I do want to make another one of these. I think in cream and like maybe a dusty navy blue would look really pretty. Anyway, I have a lot of finished things. I have a lot of everything today, so I think this may be a bit of a long podcast, so I'd get comfy or split me into segments. That sounds weird, doesn't it? Okay. My next finished thing, I'm going to have to wheel myself a bit closer. My next finished thing are my Down by the River socks. It's not very true to colour, actually. It's a bit more green and less fluorescent than it's looking. But these are knit out of hedgehog fibre sock yarn in Down by the River colourway. Let me see if I can do a little close up. And I followed the pattern for Marianne, who is Vanilla Wool, her pattern for Sugar Frost socks. And I used the heel from Molecular Orbital socks because I just love this heel. It's really neat. It's got a little hole that side. Let me show you that side. Is that a bit better? I will make sure to put all the notes on my Ravelry page so that if you like the heel or anything, you can link to the pattern that I used. I did my usual whirlwind toe. Where would I be without that whirlwind toe? I just love it. I really do love that toe. I think I knit them on 2.25, but again, all details will be on my Ravelry page. Of course, the bunnies are back. That is really pretty, and I do have another one here. So basically, I've had a very bad back. Last week, I mostly spent the week laying almost flat. I have a dodgy disc at the bottom of my back, and I have no idea what I did, no idea what brought it on at all. But something went awry, and my lower back just completely went into spasm, and it was so painful. And I was bored. It's very hard to do much laying down. I couldn't sit at all. I could only gently potter about, but not for very long, or lay down. I had some really, really gentle stretches that I was doing every few hours, but it was awful. It was a horrible week. But I did teach myself to do laying down knitting and a little bit of laying down sewing, so always not lost. It's always a handy skill to have. Yes, so I had 3 sock projects that were about half done, I think, and I managed to finish all those 3 sock projects between the beginning of last week and now, and I also managed a little bit of sewing. So this is one of the projects I finished. So these are my June socks. So actually I'm still on track for a pair of socks a month. So they're my June socks, and I love them. I finished another pair of socks. Gosh, it looks dark in here, doesn't it? Is that too dark? I'm going to adjust the settings a bit. Hang on one second. I hope that's a bit better. It just seemed really dark. So, or maybe I'll show you my other sock again, just in case the colour looks better. Oh, it still looks about the same. So these are my Hello Blossom socks. And the yarn is by Stray Cat Socks. And it's her Hello Blossom colourway, so I'm not being very inventive at all with my sock names at the moment. Self striping, which I'm really loving, as you'll see next. And it's kind of peach. This colour here is not actually cream, it's a very soft, warm peach, and lilac, grey, and violet. They're super pretty. I love these colours so much. As usual, I did my whirlwind toe. These ones I added a Fish Lips Kiss heel. I think there were 64 stitches, which was my normal size for me. I did a 2x2 rib for the cuff. I think these are knit on 2.25, but again, I will make sure to put the notes on Ravelry. Here's the other one. And they are super pretty. So these are both for me, and these are my July socks, so I'm really ahead of the game. Yeah, so it's only the middle of July, isn't it? And I have July finished. I don't have any socks on the needles at the moment though, so I thought I'd have a little break. Kind of lay down knitting's okay, but it did put me off a bit. But to be honest, I was glad of it, something to do. And my fourth finished thing, I know this is insane. You got a good peek of it there, didn't you? Hang on one second. Putting them onto the bunny blocker. Okay, these are, oopsie. These are for Bryony. And these are my autumn rainbow socks. And this yarn is from, now I believe this dye used to be called Caterpillar Green or Caterpillar something. And now they're called Gauge. And this is their white light colourway, and it's a self-striping, kind of a rainbow. Oops, that's that bunny the right way round. A rainbow, but it's quite autumny, I'd say, autumny rainbow. These are really fun to knit too, even though there's certain colours in here I don't like. I find it really hard to knit colours I don't like when I've got to this stripe here and this stripe here. Actually, those three stripes, I just didn't like knitting on them. So silly, isn't it? But they look beautiful all together. And my favourite colour, oops, is this gorgeous violet colour. It's so pretty. I'm going to put it that side so there we go. And they're so lovely. And I knit the leg longer because Bryony does like her socks longer. And I did my usual whirlwind toe. I did another fish lips kiss heel in a contrast. This was a contrast from Tracy at Nora George. It was one of her mini skate sets. And again, I did a 2x2 cuff. I think they were knit on 2.25. It's very soft yarn actually. I don't know what it is here. 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, but it's very soft. Actually, they're all really soft. These are super soft. Oh, I'd love some more of this. What did I call this? Stray cat yarn? Is it stray cat yarn? Stray cat yarn. I think it's stray cat yarn. So yes, and I have one more finished thing which is up there, which I forgot to get down. So I'm just going to have a little stretch and I'll be back in a sec. So my last finished thing is this, which is a block for my smitten quilt. Now I haven't spoken about this for, I think I may have mentioned it in the first or the second podcast that I ever did. So it's a long while ago, but basically it's a quilt called the Smitten Quilt, and it has lots of these kind of blocks. They're all hand stitched, English paper piecing. You can see the back. Got my templates in there, and I'm using. Gosh, I should have thought about this more before I did this podcast, but I'm using All Liberty for the inner flower, which I like to call it. There we go. And this here is it's a lovely print fabric. Let's see if it'll focus. Called Moda Day Sale, and it's just got lovely text all over it. So yes, so that's another. This is number. I think it's either 13 or 14. I started really well on this quilt, but it's gone a bit by the wayside, but I love it. It's a long-term thing and I'm in no rush to finish it. And these blocks are quite big, so stitched together, they will make quite a decent sized quilt. So yes, that was my last finished thing. It's very pretty. These blocks are gorgeous, and it's really nice to dive into my Liberty stash and just kind of pull out some pretty fabrics. So that's all my finished things. I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee. I do like my lovely mug. I'm going to have to wheel forwards. Little bees on it. And this was given to me for my birthday from the lovely Tracy of Nora George. So thanks, Tracy. It's so gorgeous. I love it. And it's handmade. Let me show you again. Oh, isn't that cute? And this mug is from Lockbroom Pottery. And they're on Etsy, actually. Let me show you her card. There we go. That was quite professional, wasn't it? I'm still on the decaf. I think I'll just stay on the decaf. It's fine. Well, in the making, I have got quite a few things. Mostly my in the making have not actually been started because I've not been able to knit very much. But I do have some progress to show you on my patchwork blanket. Oh, do you know, I'll never fall out in love with this. It's just gorgeous. I've added just these 4 squares at the top. There we go. This is a Nora George colourway. This, I think, is the lovely Amy, who is Little Tailoress. I think it's her mint julep. This one was gifted to me by the lovely Caroline, who is Seaside Girl Knit. So we did a swap. Such pretty colour. I wonder if I can find which one that is. Depends how much you want to know. Oh, here we go. Here it is. It is Life in the Long Grass, Beach Lavender. That's so pretty, which is quite appropriate because I was knitting that in the car going to see some lavender fields. So that was really fun. It was quite a painful car journey, but we got there in the end after a few stretches. And this one here is, this one at the end, is I'm not sure, but it's the same as the heel in my Hello Blossom socks. There we go. So it's the same colour as that, whatever that colour is. So loving it large, loving it large. It's beautiful and I love it. I can't believe my puppy is still over there asleep. She looks so cute. Okay, so I have had this idea in my head ever since watching the lovely Nicole from the Gentle Knitter podcast. And she'd started to knit a tiny mitered square blanket. I just watched her last podcast yesterday and she pulled the needles out by mistake and she can't remember what size she used. Hers is on a bit of a break at the moment. So I hope you get that sorted, Nicole, if you watch this podcast because it's so pretty. So anyway, I could wait no longer. I had lots of little bits of yarn left over from my big Happy Patchwork blanket, so I decided to make this teeny tiny one. Oh, it's so cute. I'm going to put this bag down and I'm going to come a bit forward. Oh. Sorry, I'm doing everything very gingerly at the moment, so I just want to show you the size comparison. So there's a square of my large one and here's my small one. So basically 4 of these little squares make one of these big squares, so you can see how tiny it is. I mean, that's cute, isn't it? I don't know if you remember this one, but that's my knee on the cupboard. When I added this square last time, this one here, I loved it so much, and it was from a mini. Let me show you a bit was from a mini from, again, the lovely Tracy. This is turning out to be the Tracy show. She dyed it, and it was in a mini set that I got from her. And I love this colour. I couldn't get it out of my head how much I wanted a cardigan or a jumper, anything to wear. And so I did say on my last podcast about this, but I couldn't wait no longer. I'm very impatient. And I contacted Tracy, and just so happened she was dyeing it that week. So I'm going random here now. Look what I got. So naughty and indulgent, but you know, what's a girl to do when she's got a lot of laying down time to fill? Look at that colour. Is that not perfection? I adore it with all my heart. And it's called Hearts Don't Break Around Here. And I got 4 skeins, and it's so squishy. I think it's a new base. It's 100% superwash merino, and there's 450 metres to 100 grams. Oh my goodness, it is just beautiful. So that's stashed away for a rainy day, although I really do want to cast it on soon. Sorry for all that crinkling. Mind you, I always think crinkling's nice because it means exciting things usually. But anyway, back to my little blanket. I got very waylaid. So yes, I started this little one. The squares are really quick because they're only 24 stitches. So they're really tiny. I'll start a page on Ravelry again for this project. So if you wanted to have a go, because I've had lots of people ask already. Basically, I'm using the same pattern as I'm using for my Happy Patchwork blanket, and this is called my Teeny Tiny Patchwork Blanket. Actually, I haven't told you what this is for. This is actually, I'm a bit naughty really, but I dream of being a granny. I can't wait to be a granny, and I have made a few things and sneaked them away. But this is going to be a baby blanket, and I'm not even going to weave in the ends. I'm just going to knot them. So I'm just going to knot the ends, and I'm going to put a backing fabric, probably some lovely Liberty, or maybe even something really soft fleece, or some bamboo fleece, or something lovely. So that saves weaving in all the ends, which is a big deal, isn't it? Let's face it, especially when you're doing these tiny, teeny things. So that's my first 2 works in progress. I don't think I've actually started any of the others. Boy, I'm getting in a mess here. Okay, I'm just going to have a little stretch. I'll be back in a minute. My 3rd work in progress is not a work in progress really, although I have swatched, and it's for my So Faded sweater. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the designer, but you've all heard of the So Faded, I'm sure. But these are my colours. I'm going to have the darker colour. They're a bit darker than they're showing actually. I have the darker violet at the top, and then the one with the touch of peach, and then those 2. I don't need. Okay, so they're my first 2 colours. Let's see a bit better this way. And then this one fades into this one. And then this one fades into this one. Oh, they're so beautiful. These are from the lovely Terry, who is Fine Fish Yarns. And she was so sweet because I really wanted to make the So Faded sweater, but I find it really hard to... I like to use the same base. Don't know why really. Maybe it's because I'm new to knitting garments and I like to play it safe really. So this is Heartstrings, which I already had, and it's on her Xeon base. And I contacted Terry because she didn't have many other colours in her Xeon base in stock. And she was so sweet, and she dyed me these two especially because I said I really wanted, I love, this is my, blah, blah, blah. I love, as I said before, the peach and the violet, and it's always a colour combination that I've always really loved. So I asked her if she could dye me up a fade, and that's what she did. So this one here is called Jooles. This one here is called Violet. This one is one of her repeatable colourways called Heartstrings. And this one is Cream Bun, which is a brilliant name. So they will be my fade. I've swatched. I don't know if I've got the swatch. Where's my bag even? Bag's here. Organised as ever. Oh, I have got my swatch. Here's my swatch. It actually came up a little small. This colour is gorgeous, isn't it? So I think what I might do is, because I like the fabric, it's a nice fabric. It's not too thin and it's very drapey and feels lovely. So I think I'm just going to go up a size. I hope that's not a mistake, but I'm going to go a size larger than I need, because I don't want to go up a needle size, because I think that will give me a too loose texture. So that's what I'm going to try. Fingers crossed that works out, but it's so pretty. Look at those colours. Ah, lovely. And this colourway is Jooles. So that's my So Faded plans. So I'm just going to pop them all back in. My ball winder is really grumpy. Next up is a plan to make the Warm Springs bath knit. There we go. By Elizabeth Doherty. I saw Danny and a couple of other people, Danny from Little Bobbins, knitting these, and they look so lovely. And I do use a muslin cloth to wash, so I thought maybe these would be a good alternative. And they're knit in linen, and I have this lovely Quince & Co linen. And such a pretty colour. Let me see what it's called. It's Quince & Co Sparrow. And colours Viburnum. I've never knit with linen before, but I've heard that the more you use it and wash it, the softer it gets, because it does feel a bit coarse on here. So I'm quite looking forward to casting that on and seeing how it knits up. See, that's another one of my to-be works in progress. And it's in this gorgeous bag. And this bag was from my lovely friend called Dorte. We did a little swap. Can you see the embroidery? That's so sweet, isn't it? Oh, it's so lovely. I love being loved by you. How gorgeous. Such pretty colours. Dorte, you're such a sweetheart. Thank you. She also gave me another bag and some other goodies, so I was very spoilt. Got lovely pockets in, 2 pockets inside. So I love that bag. So that'll be holding my Warm Springs mitt. Oh yes, I have one more work in progress to be. That is the Blossom Shawl by Melody of Bee Mandarins. I haven't actually printed out the photo, so I'll insert a photo here. Oh, it's so beautiful, this shawl. And I've been chatting away to Amy, the little tailoress, so we're going to, I think, both knit one of these together. My yarn choices are this gorgeous skein of yarn that was also given to me by lovely, lovely Tracy, who spoils me rotten. She's such a sweetheart. It's actually more peach. It's showing up quite pink, but it's actually very peach and beautiful. And oh, it's so pretty. Tracy, you are some kind of genius. It's called Raspberry, and it's 55% superwash BFL and 45 silk, 100 grams, 400 metres. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm pairing it with, this is from my stash, a while ago I was making, is it the bumblebee shawl? I think so. And it didn't go well, so I ended up frogging it. And so this I hope that's showing up okay. This is called Mother of Pearl, and it's from the gorgeous Julie from Sweet Sparrow Yarns in her hummingbird base, which is 50% merino, 50% silk. I love that little bird on there, it's so cute. So, yes, that's what I'll be doing it in, because it's kind of, I think you stripe it, and it has this lovely scallop kind of flowery petal at the bottom. It's so pretty. So that's another thing that's waiting to be cast on when I can sit long enough to actually get into something. So really exciting about that. I actually have a treatment booked this afternoon for my back. So I think it's going to be a bit painful, but I need to do something. I need to get back to work properly. And I have been pottering in my sewing room, but not really enough to get much done. Magical arrivals. I treated myself a little while ago to a lovely kit, which was a collaboration between Sandra from Sandy by the Lakeside and the Hey Sister girls, Rachel and Tammy. And lovely Sandra, she designed the bags in this lovely Alice in Wonderland print. I love Sandra's bags, they're always so gorgeous. And the lovely Hey Sister girls, they made the yarn, they made the yarn to match. Oh, how pretty is that? So gorgeous. So that was a bit of an indulgence and I really love it. So thank you all, ladies. The yarn, does it have a name? Let me see. I don't think it actually has a name, because obviously it's probably just Alice in Wonderland. Or am I being silly? Hang on. No, it doesn't say a name on there. Oh, it's so beautiful. Look at that lovely pink in there. It's also got gold stellina. Just beautiful. And look at it with bag. It's just so lovely. What a beautiful combination. So that was a big indulgence, and maybe I'll make this my next pair of socks actually. That's an idea, isn't it? Don't have any socks on the needles at all, which is not like me. So that was one magical arrival. I did a swap with the lovely Lily, who is Nordic Stitches on YouTube, where she does podcasts, and I think she's still Nordic Stitches on Instagram as well. And we did a swap, a bag swap, and very sillily, I left the bag upstairs where I had some knitting in, so I won't dash up and get it, but it's so cute and it's got little sheep all over it. So we did a bag swap and some other bits swap, and she sent me this beautifully soft yarn, there we go, alpaca, in this lovely, it's a bit more pink than it's showing. I guess it's from Norway. Yes, it's from Norway. She sent me 3 balls of this. Let's show you the fronts better, isn't it? 3 balls of this and some needles, which is so pretty. I mean, look at the colour of those, violet. To make some socks. So I think these will make some really, really cosy, squishy, kind of wintry bed socks or kind of evening socks. So I'm really excited to do that. She also sent me some lovely tea and some other bits. So that was really lovely. So thank you, Lily. That was such a lovely parcel to get. And she also sent me some kind of brochures of where she lives and things. That was brilliant. It was so nice. It's so lovely to see where other people live, isn't it? It's kind of hard to imagine, but she lives in the most beautiful place. And is this my last thing? I feel like I had other things to show you. I I think it's been too long since I podcast and I don't really know what I've shown and what I haven't shown. But the lovely Diane, I've mentioned Diane lots of times, from Elm Tree Yarns, who is Knitting Bunting on Instagram, sent me this when she found out I had a bad back, just to cheer me up. How kind is that? So lovely, and it's the most beautiful, beautiful colours. The colourway is Old Woman Who Lived in a Shoe. Ah, that's so familiar to me. I think I must have read it as a child, or I seem to remember I either had an ornament or a picture on my wall of the old woman who lived in a shoe. But it is insanely pretty. It's a little more green than it's showing. I'm still struggling with my camera getting things the right way up and the right way round. But that is just beautiful, isn't it? So how beautiful is that? Just so pretty. So thank you, Diane. You're always so kind to me. I honestly feel so spoiled and loved by you lot. You're just wonderful, so thank you. Thank you for being so sweet. Okay, I think there's a giveaway winner to announce. Last podcast, I announced a giveaway to win. Hang on one second because I need to get up again. Okay, I'm back after yet another move around. Yes, so last podcast I announced a giveaway for my 1 year podcast anniversary. 1 year. I'm chuffed that I managed to do that. And to thank you all for being so lovely and supportive and just utterly wonderful, I wanted to do a giveaway just to thank you. So my question was, what is your spirit animal? And if you didn't think you had one, what would you like it to be? And so many of you entered, and it was such a brilliant thread to read. All sorts of things from pandas to cats and dogs, deer and phoenix and unicorns, and it was brilliant. I loved it. We had, I think it was 247 entries, which is massive. So many of you. So thank you so much for entering. I really appreciate you getting involved and kind of joining in the fun. Anyway, I drew a winner using random number generator, and the winning number was 101. And that is Irene from the UK. And her Ravelry name is, I'm going to put it on the screen here because I'm probably going to kill this name. It's Sigheim. I hope that's right. So well done, Irene. Congratulations. And your spirit animal is a dolphin, which is so lovely. And this is what you will win, or have won. So I'll pop this in the post when I hear from you. It's one of my rainbow bags. So Irene, if you could message me, either, probably the best way is on Ravelry, send me a private message on there with your address, or on Instagram you could direct message me on there. That would also be really good. So if you could send me your details and I'll pop this off to you. So you have won, see, there we go, I'm still having trouble, one of my rainbow bags. You have also won one of my rainbow pouches, which has got a little bit creased, so I need to get that bit of an iron for you before I send it out. So one of my little pouches. And also you have won this little sock set, by the gorgeous, 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 gorgeous Amber from Makers Haven, who donated this as a prize. And not only that, you also, tidy these up a bit because they've got a bit tangled. And you have also won a gorgeous set of stitch markers. I hope that's going to, oh, look at my dreadful nails. Very sorry about that. I should have really done that. I had enough laying down time, didn't I? Anyway, so congratulations, Irene, and I look forward to hearing from you and getting your little goodie package in the post. And that was so exciting. I do love doing giveaways, and I think there's going to be another one soon because on Instagram I'm not far away actually from 10,000 subscribers, so I think that might call for another giveaway. Just some chatter. Well, I think I've chatted enough really today. But a lovely thing that did happen since I podcast last was my lovely friend Chrissy, who is Chrissy Crafts, and I took a train up to London to meet two gorgeous ladies, Sam from Betsy Mates and Sandra from Cherry Heart, and we just hung out for the day and chatted, and it was just like meeting old friends. It was just so fun. I just felt like I'd known them forever, and we were just good friends, just meeting again, although we'd never actually met in real life. We only really know each other through blogging and podcasts. But it was wonderful, and we had some Prosecco, and we chatted, and we knit. Actually, we didn't knit. No, we were too busy chatting. We did visit Liberty, but I think all of us really, we just wanted to just sit down and just have a good old chatter, and it was really lovely. And you two ladies, I adore you, and I can't wait till we meet up again. We did exchange lovely gifts as well, so that was such a lovely thing to do, and I feel like I have kind of lovely mementos of that special day. And I did show actually all our gifting goodies on Instagram, so if you'd like to have a look, just pop on over to there. I've mentioned already that my show notes are on my blog, and the last thing I want to talk about today is something hugely exciting for me. I hope you're going to find it exciting too. I've been planning this for quite a while actually. It's been a little seed in my mind, and I think it's coming to fruition. So I'd like to announce my very first advent calendar. So the very first So Sweet Violet advent calendar. This will be one of my large, I'll show you actually. So let me explain what my advent calendar will be. So this is one of my large patchwork bags, and this is all Tilda fabric in reds and whites and pinks. And this is predominantly the colourway for my advent calendar. Got the little birds, lots of birds and lots of roses. I'm just going to see if I can give you a close-up of the little, where is it? There, the little stamped detail there. There we go. And the little sequins, sweet little birds with hearts and snowflakes. So I'm going to talk about the bag first. So the bag, it's one of my large sizes. As I said, the colours will be in reds and pinks, white, and it'll be roses and birds and stars and dots and stripes. It'll have my linen box bottom, there we go, the little printed birds here, and a red or pink tassel. The zips will all be natural coloured, and inside the bag, let me open it out. I'll show you my new stamp actually. I've got this new stamp for my bags. I'm going to see if I can show you a bit closer. If you can see that. It's my new stamp for my bags. Instead of having a stitched on label, I thought it was really pretty. Especially as I thought that was really pretty, especially as I use stamps a lot in my bag making and crafting in general. So there's the bag, lovely box bottom, white lining, and it has two big pockets here, which I love a pocket in a bag. On that side too. You can see there. It has my usual little linen tab and the removable ring, so you can store your stitch markers So you can store your stitch markers and scissors and things like that on there, and your progress keepers, as long as they've got a big enough ring, of course. And I've put my little ring a little bit lower down so that when it's just hanging there, it drops into the pocket. Because I noticed when we were in London, when Sam got her knitting out, it did catch a tiny bit on her knitting and I felt so terrible. So I decided to lower my little ring down so it sits in the pocket. So that's the bag. This one is a bit not perfect because I didn't have the right size zip, so I'm not particularly happy with how the zip fits in, so I've ordered some bigger zips. So this one will be mine. Okay, so that's the bag. Inside the bag there will be 24 gifts. One gift, I'm so excited to tell you about all this. One gift is a skein of yarn, dyed especially by Tracy, Nora George. I told you it was the Tracy show. She's already sent me some samples. I told her what I'd like and she worked her magic and sent me 3 samples. They're all gorgeous, but one of them stole my heart and works perfectly with the bag. I don't want to give too much away, so I think I'm going to leave that as a surprise. But it's 100 grams and it's sock yarn and it's super, super pretty. So I have to think of a lovely name for that. You will also receive a notions pouch, one of my notions pouches, which will coordinate with this. It will have, there'll all be different fabrics for the lining. Actually, I'll show you my notions pouch. This is the giveaway gift. So this is my notions pouch. So it'll be one of these. It won't have the cloud or the rainbow sequins. It'll have, I think, no, I'm not going to say anything. So it'll be one of my notions pouches, but it will have one of the linings, one of the fabrics for the lining. All these bags, again, will be slightly different because I just cut fabrics and just sew them randomly-ish. I'm not very good at random. What else will you get? You will also get, oh gosh, how much to share and how much to keep secret? That is the question. Okay, the accessories are themed around rose gold. They are all things that a knitter needs or would love. Most of the things will be made by me. You can probably guess because you'll get some stitch markers and some lavender sachets, things like that. But I've also sourced some absolutely gorgeous things, things that a knitter or crocheter would find very useful. Oh, it's so tricky to tell you everything. But basically, there'll be 24 gifts. So I'm so excited. And I've made the bag purposely not overly Christmas. It can be used all year round. Excuse me, so excited, I'm joking. It can be used all year round. What else do I need to tell you? I plan on having them shipped out by the end of October so that hopefully everyone receives them in time for Advent on the 1st of December. I'm going to be putting some pre-order listings up in Etsy and I'm going to give you the dates now. I'm going to list them in batches. I'm going to do 2 larger batches and I'm going to do some surprise updates. There won't be a normal update this month of ready to ship bags, stitch markers and lavender sachets. The only update this month will be my pre-orders for the Advent calendars. The first batch will go into my Etsy shop on Friday the 28th of June at 6 p.m. UK time. I believe that's GMT +1. The second batch of these will go in the shop on Tuesday the 1st of August at 10 a.m. And I'm hoping the difference in time will help people in different places across the world to get a good chance. And then I'm going to have possibly 3 surprise updates. I might not even say anything. I might just put them in my shop, I think, or I might mention it on Instagram, but I'm not sure. So the surprise updates will be week beginning the 1st of August. So anytime in that week there'll be some, I'm just going to pop them in my shop randomly. So that's really exciting. So I pop over and have a look, and I think that's all I should say. I want to tell you everything because I'm so excited. I spent such a long time, a lovely time, sourcing some cute and useful and pretty things for you. Most of it's made by me. Oh, I did forget to say there will be some lovely organic, not many, some lovely organic body products. That's all I'm going to say. Uh, so really excited about this, and I hope you're excited along with me. Okay. Oh, also in my shop there are a few stitch marker sets that I added actually recently. So if you've been trying to get hold of those, just pop over there. And yeah, I think there's Make a Wish. So I think there's 1 or 2 Wizardy, and I think there's a few Rainbow stitch marker and progress keeper sets. So I think I've covered everything. Wow, I think that was quite a long episode. I hope I didn't ramble too much, and I hope it's not too jumpy for you as I've kept having to stop and start. But there we go. I think we're done, and I think I'm back on the podcasting run. So anyway, I wish you a really happy, crafty, healthy time until I see you next. And I really hope it won't be as long next time. Okay, bye bye. See you soon.